Yeah. Okay. And it's on airplane mode.
I didn't know.
Should be good. Okay. Hi. Okay. Don't know what to put this. Hello, everyone. As she introduced me, my name is Angelique Ratchke. If you have heard the name Angelique Ratke, that is also me. It's just pronounced properly, Angelique Ratchke. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. I had not been to this Rotary group before, and I am grateful to meet you. Actually, so I am with BCAI School of Arts, Breaking Chains, Advancing Increase. We are 6 years old as of last April, and our doors opened in April, as I said. We were in the old junior high building, the old Bloomington Junior High building when we first started. Then we moved to Western Avenue, and now we are in the Creativity Center at right behind the BCPA. If you know where that is, it's on right between Locust and Chestnut, directly behind the BCPA. And it's just this little layout while I kind of break us down a little bit. These are a lot of the students. Those are pictures of our studio space, performance times, free times. We have worked very, very, very hard to make our school feel like a family. It feels like a village. Like every family looks out for the next family. The parents look out for each other. The kids look out for each other. There recently was a situation where one of the families had to move due to a last-minute situation, and because they had BCAI family already at the school that she was going to, the student didn't have to be there by herself and meet all these new people with only 2 months left of school. So she already had BCAI family there, and it made the transition super smooth. So we've worked very, very hard to make it a safe space to where everyone feels loved and comfortable and safe to actually access themselves. More pictures. This is from our last fundraiser that we put on. This type of thing happens randomly in the middle of class. We just happened to capture it that one time. This is from a photo. Those two are from a photo shoot that we did recently. This is one of my favorite pictures we've ever taken in my life because this is 5 completely different personalities, and these two are twins. So yes, Kalani in the middle is the biggest personality you'll ever meet. This was when we performed, it was March 3rd at the History Museum at their local Black History event, when they were going over the different local heroes from Black history. So on the surface, BCAI offers an expression platform and arts education regardless of income or background. So it is for everyone. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are completely available to everyone. I want to make that very, very clear. We are a safe space for literally every single walk of life. We are a safe space to express, to explore, and to train, no matter what your art is. Did I really put that there? Let me do this one first. Okay, so my definition of art is very different from traditional, my definition of art is any activity that requires the imagination to reach the next level. That could be coding, that could be computers, that could be sports, that could be entrepreneurialism, that could be dance and photography, parenting, anything that requires the imagination to reach that next level. So if you have to tap into yourself, if you have to tap into your superpowers, if you have to tap into your strengths and learn your weaknesses, and actually access that part of your mind or being that is completely free, that's where problem solving comes from. That's where change is brought. That's where amazing things happen. So that is our definition of art. BCAI School of Arts does have a variety of things that we do. And eventually we will have more and more, including a food and nutrition program, and a construction training, like just basic things like car maintenance and things like that our students should know. So under the surface, on the surface, it looks just like a regular art school that believes in their kids and does a lot in the community. Okay, cool. But if you look deeper and if you spend some time at our studio space at the school, or if you've seen us perform in public, you see some transformations happen right before your face, within months, some of them within weeks. We get the students, if you have ever studied the law of attraction, the students that are attracted to BCAI and the ones that stay are the ones that, they're the unicorns, they're the rare ones, they're the ones that they don't fit in because they're not supposed to, but they don't seem to fit in anywhere else. They have a free spirit, they may butt heads with a lot of authority. Yes. So those are the ones. So the ones that get easily overlooked, the ones that are completely underestimated, the ones that are 100% misunderstood. We serve every type of youth you can imagine, and we just started adult classes as well. So yes, we support anyone on the spectrum. We support. We've had multiple students on the spectrum at different points. We've had a gentleman with Asperger's who was one of the most dynamic young men I've ever known in my life. So we support and love on and give a platform to every type of student. These are our two pillars that we run everything we do on. So purpose and unity. Our vision statement is to strengthen every generation in purpose and unity, no longer enslaved by self-doubt and discrimination. So what that means simply is that every single event we put on, every class, the way that we train our students has everything to do with this. So these are 6 different things that we really focus on in our training. We have a huge focus on accountability. So we want to make sure that the students aren't blaming their parents for certain things. Like if they are late, did you send me a text saying that you were going to be late? Okay, well then there's an issue there. You know what I'm saying? So there's also the accountability of what could you have done differently in this situation. So we do multifaceted training when it comes to that. Professionalism, we have a big focus on that. So when we go into public, people trust us and ask us back because our students know exactly how to be professional. Empathy is huge, so we make sure that they understand each other. Different people that comprehend things and process information different. We make sure that they learn how to communicate. Communication is huge. If you have an issue, did you communicate it, or are you letting it fester and build up, and then all of a sudden we have this blowout? Imagination is huge, as I explained earlier, and then awareness. So I explained our vision statement. Our mission statement, how we're going to achieve that, is equipping individuals with increased awareness of self, community, and various cultures through unique training in the arts. And this is the unique training in the arts. So I'm not necessarily concerned if you get your paint stroke perfectly. I am concerned with, are you learning yourself? Are you becoming more reliable as a being? Are you more responsible, more empathetic? Do you understand different cultures and why they do the things that they do? Are you learning? That's what I'm concerned with. Sorry if that's a little hard to read. It says Braided Elevation. This is a program I started about 2.5 years ago. It's just an ongoing behind-the-scenes program that I have where we use the arts to braid together multiple cultures, manifesting a new culture of mutual appreciation, communication, and passion for one another. We have been doing this through dance, language training, and full immersion. So the events that we put on, like Mixed Fuse Evolve, if you've ever been to one of our Mixed Fuse Evolve events, and then conversation. So we partnered with MCIA and did the very first thing we did was some of their youth dancers came and taught our hip hop dancers an Indian form of dance, Bollywood. And then our students taught the Indian students hip hop. Then at the Festival of India, they each performed each other's cultural dance in each other's cultural outfits and clothing. It was very powerful. It was, I believe, one of, if not the first time that they have allowed other than Indian descent on their stage. And it was very, very powerful. The kids were I was extremely proud of them. Very, very proud. That's the type of thing that we do when we do stretching in our dance program. We do not count in English. Our students know at least 7 different languages, and we are building on that. I have 2 new ones to give them this summer, not 3. So I'm very, 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 very proud of that. That alone gives them more of a motivation to learn more. I want to know more of the language. I want to know more about this culture. And that's what we're trying to do. This is just a simple list. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. This is just a few of the collaborations that we've done so far in the last 6 years. So Not in Our Town, McLean County Indian Association, Black Actors League, Bloomington High School Project Oz, Youth Build, Cultural Fest. Those are a lot of the collaborations that we have done. There is more. This right here, Fully Defend Yourself. This is an event that we put on every January, at the end of January. We just had our 2nd annual, so 2019 will be our 3rd annual. Fully Defend Yourself is a conference type event and it's free to the community, and it is where we pull different local professionals in different areas to train/talk to the participants on things that are easily overlooked ways that you can protect yourself and your family. For example, identity theft. We always think of bank accounts. That's the first thing you think about is credit cards, bank accounts. One of the things I learned a few years ago is that they could also hack into your health records, and you go to the hospital and all of a sudden you may be in reality allergic to penicillin, but your chart now says that you're not. And so, bam, now we've got paralysis or death, and that could easily be handled. So things like that, little things. The youth also go through a session as well, where they learn different ways to defend themselves. They do physical self-defense, different ways to handle online bullying, and different things like that are very, very, very important for them. Upcoming. So, and I'll show you a flyer at the end, but this Saturday in downtown Bloomington, we have blocked off Jefferson Street, and we are doing a dance cipher event. So it's a community cipher event, and what a cipher is you have a floor or a space, and there's a circle of people, and this can be done with lyrics, rap, hip hop, or just dancing, period. And it's one person in the middle at a time, and it's just a way to, 1, show off all your newest moves, and 2, to connect to everyone around you. It's a way to unify those around you. It is also a way to support each other and to make people feel comfortable and amazing about learning new things. It's a very, very powerful way to bring the community together. So we are, like I said, blocking off the street, and we have 2 dance floors on both sides. We're going to be playing, the 2 DJs are going to be playing different genres of music: African, Indian, hip hop, old school hip hop, swing. We've got swing dancers coming. We've got skaters, roller skaters that do different dances and stuff. It's going to be a very, very amazing event, and it's going to grow every single year. So that's coming up this Saturday from 2 to 4. Mixed Fuse Evolve 2 is our signature fundraising event for scholarships and student opportunities. The Mixed Fuse Evolve 2 is the adult 21 and up event, which is the last year was our first one, and it's been at Reality on Monroe. And as I said, it's 21 and up. It's a very phenomenal event, amazing. Reality Bites does a phenomenal job. And then we have a simultaneous event that happens at the exact same time so that we can provide free childcare. And it's called Expand, Fuse, Move, and it's just a productive childcare. It's like 3 workshops, a mini seminar-ish, and then a dance party with taco bar and ice cream bar. Super fun. Cool. They loved it. Last year, the mini seminar was about consent, so they learned about consent and what's allowed and what's definitely not. It was very, very powerful. Then That's continued braided elevation, as I explained earlier. We'll be doing flash mobs all of July. Do you guys all know what a flash mob is?
Yes.
So those of you who don't, a flash mob is if you are in a random place in public and random people just start doing choreography and dancing, that's a flash mob. Out of nowhere. It happens out of nowhere. You're not expecting it. They're not dressed in any particular clothing, costume, or anything. They just start dancing. It's just really fun to watch. So you can look out for that.
We won't know where they're at.
No, why would I tell you where they're at?
So that because I want to
That's
go.
a piece of the whole thing.
I know, but I've never seen
I
one.
might actually put a list online without dates.
Oh, okay. I've never seen one, so I've always wanted
Yes.
to.
So, then, also a farming and food class. Those of you who know Leaders on Loan program, it's similar to MCLP. The Chamber of Commerce puts it on. It is a bunch of area professionals that come to learn leadership skills, and they take on a local nonprofit project. And we were selected to be one of those projects, and so we got a phenomenal group of individuals. Phenomenal. One from ISU, one from Wesleyan, one from Roman, and one from OSF. It was pretty cool. But they created the marketing plan and the strategic plan for us for our farming and food class that will be starting hopefully in December. And it'll be our flagship event for when we have our own building space. Chinese language classes, one of our interns from Wesleyan is going to be putting that on. I'm really excited about that. And then our reading and writing program is going to be starting also this summer, and is not any other reading and writing program. It's very unique. For example, one of the facets to it is called Classics to Graphics, and it is an intern from Wesleyan actually created this program where it helps youth actually enjoy the classics. So like the classic books that everyone knows, the novels that everyone knows, it helps them turn it into a graphic novel. It's like a comic book. So it's very, very productive, very fascinating. So that's just one facet. Then they'll have incentives, of course, like bikes and gift certificates, and I'm extremely excited for that program. This is the fun page. This is how you can help BCAI. So a couple different categories. There's a scholarship fund. We are sort of new to the scholarship fund. It's only a year old, maybe 2 years old. So we do need those of you who have any experience with running a scholarship fund. We could use the help for that. The couple events that we have that are specifically for raising funds for the scholarship fund. And then of course just operating it, the scholarship fund, the way that it is supposed to be ran. Sponsorships. The Mix Fuse Evolve events, as the name implies, it's mixing and fusing and evolving. So it's mixing different cultures together in one event, as many different cultures as possible. And through that, that is how we are going to evolve as a human race. Different events that we also have outside of MFE. So the Cypher event is another sponsorship opportunity, Fully Defend Yourself, and a couple other little ones. BCAI team gear. We will be getting new shirts for the Cultural Fest this year. So that's an option. Then our performance team also needs uniforms. The I Am shirts is, if you've ever seen the all white tank tops with the black I Am, that's us. So we'll be getting new I Am shirts for this Cultural Fest in different style. Operations and programs can be sponsored, and student opportunities. So times that we take them to the BCPA for a show, or for example, our Latin dance class that ends on the 7th of June. We're taking them to a restaurant in Chicago that has a live Latin band that will be playing, and they get to actually be on a dance floor submerged into the culture, and I'm so excited. Then there's opportunities to take our break dancers to Peoria to get trained by other crews, take them to Chicago when they do the youth battles. That was really powerful when we went a couple years ago. So different student opportunities. Let me skip down to current classes and teams. So we do have a big focus on hip hop. We have the cultural dance classes that every 6 weeks it changes to a different culture. During the summer, we'll be doing Latin and Indian. And we have the technique class that goes over all of that. Our performance team that you see all over the community. Breakdance team, hands that is our visual arts program. And that is, that goes over, it's like 7 weeks, and it goes over drawing, painting, sculpting, graffiti art, crafting, and graphic design, all in one program. It's very, very powerful, very, very condensed and amazing. Jarrell Richards, if you know that name, he is the one that leads that, and he is phenomenal. And then different workshops. And I didn't put anything specific for workshops because those are completely in the air for the month of August and December. We'll be filling up sometimes for any type of workshop. So if you have a skill or you have something that you want to actually invest into this generation, for example, the workshop that we talked about with the trees, I'm very interested in having that in August if you're available to discuss that.
It's time.
Yes. Yes, because we talked about that like a year ago.
We've been talking about it for a year.
Yes, so we are finally in the position to be able to do it. So I knew that it would have been really shaky if we would have done it before. So now we are in a very good place to make that happen. So things like that. He wants to teach our students about the network of trees, like, and how they have networks and how they communicate and the beauty of them. Just a little education on that, and that's a very powerful thing for them to know, of course. So any type of thing, I know that we're going to be partnering with a couple groups that are going to teach etiquette. So things like that, if you have any type of skill, I mean anyone, every single person in here has a superpower and a skill set that you can pass on to them. So anything that you can think of, let me know, and we can work something out. That would be awesome.
Stoves. We're gonna teach them all about stoves.
Did you say stoves? Like ovens?
You'll have to talk to him later.
Let's finish your talk.
Yeah, he'll get you onto it.
Q&A, okay. Last section, volunteer. We are looking for new board members. We have different things, aspects and facets of BCAI that need more, what is the word? So there's the active board members, and there's the ones that, what is the word?
Advisory.
Yeah, advisory, the ones that are kind of behind the scenes. And then we are looking for more instructors and mentors for our youth and students. Our student development team, we're looking for help with that, and that's exactly as it sounds, just the student development, working on their objectives, resume building, et cetera, public relations, and fund development. So these are the areas that we are really, really looking for good volunteers for. Reliable.
There you go, reliable.
Reliable is the best word I can use. Here's the cipher flyer. If you've seen it around town, this is what's going to be happening. Youth Builder, we're also is building a graffiti wall in the middle. So we'll be spray painting and creating this phenomenal graffiti wall. And at the end, Bruce and Darrell will be spray painting I am over everyone's artwork, and then there is 1x1 pieces of cardboard that we'll just take off the board, and we'll be able to pass out to the participants to take home a piece of the event.
Oh, cool.
So curbside grilling will be there. The food truck, if you've ever had their steak sandwich, it is the best thing in life, except I'm a vegetarian now. So I can't even have that, but they do have vegetarian options. And it's going to be just an amazing event. And that is the end of the PowerPoint. I just said a lot of words, and I know you probably have questions. So what would you like to know? Go.
At the end of the year, when you look back, for example, 2017, how do you measure the success when it comes to the community integration?
Community integration, meaning them to us or us to them?
Both ways.
Okay. He was like, I don't know. Both. So our board will sit down and meet, and actually it's more than the board at the end of the year. It'll be all the team leads we will sit down and have a meeting where we discuss, okay, what partnerships did we have this year? So we're working on creating our first annual report. That's kind of important. So that will be really important moving forward, is that annual report. But as of right now, for the last 6 years, just determining success would be the amount of times that we collaborated, the amount of relationships that we've been building, and we'll list that, and we'll have conversations about how successful it's been. We'll talk about how many events we did with other organizations, how many did we actually go to, how many came to us, how many helped out and volunteered at our events, and vice versa. The amount of interest in new students coming in, the amount of new volunteers coming in, and interns, and people that are willing to help out BCAI and speak up for BCAI and advocate for our students. The amount of opportunities that open up for our students, like for example, we don't have to ask to perform anywhere anymore. Our students have been so amazing at their self-expression and connecting to their audience and making everyone feel some type of way, that people are now coming to us and asking us to perform everywhere. The Shweta, I don't know if anyone here knows Shweta, she has her own Indian youth dance group, and so she has asked again for us to, and this will be the second year in a row that she has asked us, third technically. The first one was us to her, but now she's asking for us to pull on. She wants to do a collaborative dance at the Festival of India with 4 different genres of Indian dance and then hip hop. So we did that last year and it worked out amazing. You can find it on our YouTube, the performance is on our YouTube. But things like that, when community leaders and phenomenal community people are just coming to us, recognizing the power in our students and the message that we're bringing, and they want to help us raise awareness in the community. That's really our determinants as of right now.
Thank you.
Could you just take one of the kids and tell their story?
Oh, yes. Okay. Who should I choose? All right. I will not.
You don't have to reveal
Don't-
it.
There will definitely won't be a name. So 3 years ago, I received in a family, three students and a mother. The father is in the home. So this young woman, actually all 3 of them are so unique and amazing. But specifically, you asked for one student, so I'm going to talk about the young woman. A young lady. She is now 13? No. Yes, she'll be 13 in August, I believe. 12? 13? Yes. She, when she came to me, she was full of energy, full of life, but there were certain instances where she would shut down. So no emotion. You can't get her to answer a question. She'll barely look you in your face. And you wouldn't be able to get an answer out of her. And it could happen out of nowhere during class. Something would trigger her, something would make her feel irrelevant, or that she didn't matter, or whatever the insecurity at that moment was. And she would completely shut down. And this is all within the first year. Now, after all the training that she had gotten for 1 year, after we went to Chicago for that breakdance battle that I was talking about, when we came back from that, it was a whole new student. She having that outside, that's why the student opportunities was so important. Having that outside experience and outside of the studio, outside of the community, was really, really powerful for her. And coming back, all of a sudden, there were no more shutdowns. No more shutdowns for at least a year. Then she became triggered again. We ended up getting more students, and really, really good students, really, really good dancers. She, at the moment, before they came, was the top dog. She was my assistant choreographer. She's phenomenal. Oh, she is one of the greatest choreographers I've ever known. She's amazing. especially for her age. More students were coming in that were just as good as her, and so all of a sudden she did not feel as relevant because she wasn't at the top now. Now she had to share the top with other students, and slowly we saw the insecurities creep back in, and they started for about 9 months, manifested themselves in the exact same thing where she would shut down. There was behavior issues, rolling eyes to authority, and I hate using the word authority, to instructors and other parents. And so we had to go through different disciplines where she was on campus suspended, where you still have to come to class, but you don't get to participate, you don't get to perform, but you have to be at performances. And then of course, we're mentoring through the whole thing. And then we had, there was one other thing that we did before. There was just other disciplinary things that we did. Then we offered something that's called a increase proposal, where we have 3 things. So it's in regards to BCAI. So it's something that you have to do to the studio space and to protect it and to clean it and to maintain it for the 45 days. And then, so it's kind of like a probation thing. And then step 2 is in regards to your mind. So it's do you need a tutor for schooling? Is that part of the problem? Anything like that. And then step 3 is in regards to your whole self. So we gave her a mentor, something like a big sister, just to make sure that she was really taken care of outside of BCAI and started getting more experience outside of BCAI, etc. So she didn't really make it through this proposal, the last proposal that she had. So she had a couple increased proposals, and so it got really, really worse, and so we had to off-campus suspend her, which for the first time ever in BCAI history that we ever had to let a student go, and it was very, very hard. And so instead of letting her go, we made sure that some of the parents that are really active were still mentoring her and taking her to the library and taking her to different things. And then there was another volunteer that put her through a modeling program, which she's also phenomenal at. She's multifaceted. She's gonna be unstoppable when she can get a hold on the things that pop up for her, the triggers. But right now, so she's just came back a week or 2 ago, and she earned her way back into the school because the time that she was ready to come back, she didn't really give off the best energy that she was ready to come back, because there was still a little bullying issue that she was having with some of the girls. And so as the aggressor, and then within a week something just clicked, and all of a sudden she took the initiative to talk to those said girls that she was having issues with, and feeling the girls feeling like she was bullying them. And so they all of a sudden their friendship sparked back up, and now she's all the way back to her. And it's very emotional because I've had her for 3 years, and it destroyed me when I had to off-campus suspend her. It destroyed me. It broke me for a good couple weeks to not have her there, and to have her thinking that she's feeling abandoned and feeling like we just gave up on her, which is completely not the case. Like I said, we were doing the stuff behind the scenes, but to think that she felt that way just destroyed me, because that's the opposite. But yeah, so she's now in an amazing place. She is reclaiming her place and working with the other students to come up with new choreography. And so yes, I'm extremely excited about that.
That sounds real.
It's very real. Yes.
The quick question is, name the 7 languages and the 2 new ones that you're going to have. But the more substantive question is, these students are a selected group. You just don't have anybody walking in. It is not a short term. They're in there as a group for quite a while. They do all the many different things, or do you have some people do the dance and some people over there do the other? I didn't catch how that's handled.
That's a great question. So the short one first is, of course, English. Then we've got Spanish, Italian, Hindi, Indonesian, Croatian. I always mess up here. I know there's one more. German. So then the two new ones that we have is Yoruba, that's spoken in Nigeria. And then I had to relearn Afrikaans. And so I'll be having those two new ones. And then right after that will be Swahili. And, I always mess this one up. It's spoken in Ethiopia. Amharic? Amharic? Yes. So that's what we're doing now. So the 4 different African languages.
Surprised Japanese wasn't in
Not yet. Korean will be the first because we have martial arts classes as well.
Okay.
So and our base art is Hapkido, which is Korean, so it makes sense. Now the longer question, but it's not really that long of an answer. So yes, people can come in off the street, 100%. No one is selected.
Go ahead.
No one is actually selected. That's not how it works. The only selection process is when people from the performance team want to level up, because we do have a level system where level 2s and 3s and 4s they get more performances and out of town things. But no, parents, I get phone calls, I get emails, I get text messages, messages on Facebook, just how do I get involved, how do I get my child in, I'm interested in this class, I'm interested in that class, and they will register them online, and we'll give them a call and see what classes they're interested in. They'll come try out for a whole week, and try out all the classes and see which ones fit. And then we'll talk about the payment structure and how that works with them and which works for their budget. If they need to apply for the scholarship, then we'll go for that as well. But yes, they can completely come in out of nowhere. Some do just walk in and see what it's like, and then we'll talk to them. I have a welcoming committee where some of the parents will talk to them and such. But yeah, there's not a selection.
The fee structure?
Say that again?
The fee structure?
The fee structure. So we just trying to change that, and now we have a tiered tuition where, because we're more of a co-op, so we rely on a lot of the parents for a volunteer. And so if you are only coming to BCAI, there's a basic, and then there's a fully involved. And the basic is $65 a month for the first class, and $33 for every class after that until you reach the unlimited classes price, and then it's just that. Then there's the fully involved price, and that's $40, then $20 until you reach the unlimited price. So it just depends on how involved you want to be, and if you have no time in your schedule to do anything, then you pay the other price. So yeah.
Age span?
I might actually, it's been 3 and up, but right now I'm very low on instructors, so it might have to be 4 and up from now on. Because 4-year-old, you have a little more cognitive connection to instructions and the people around you, so 4 and up, 4 to
Any age?
99.
4 to 99. You want
110.
Let's sign up.
Since I'm, up to 99.
Well, we're starting in adult Indian dance is starting on the 14th.